Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Reactive Horse and Training series. So we've got a couple of days in riding since you saw the last video, and it got much more difficult when we brought her to the outdoor arena. There's just a lot more room for her to get emotional, fast, reactive, but it gave us more opportunities of things to fix too. So since I saw you last, we've put a lot of emphasis on being able to put the rider's cues on, which is also pressure to her. So she has to accept pressure, but she also has to understand the cue. And so one was just squeezing her here and having that mean head down. And then I started taking it as so far as to go, not only when I squeeze with my legs does it mean head down, I'm gonna keep squeezing now, a little harder, and have that mean back up. So I bring my legs on first, and my seat is in a back up position. I squeeze, I hold, and wait for her to back up. Now, I'm not going to do this with her so much so that she actually has like a spur stop or will actually back up really well off your legs coming on. That's not my point. The reason I'm doing this is to just get her to question a little bit if she feels the rider's leg that she had a tendency to just dart forward, and it was pretty significant out here. And so the rider needs to be able to put their legs on and have a conversation with the horse about what they're trying to do and not have it mean just go, go, go. So that's one thing that we've been working on. I do that a lot if I'm moving her around, trotting Canter in, and we stop and I want to go again, but I want to put some softness into it. I'll do that exercise a little bit. So you'll probably see that a little bit later on here. The next thing that I was doing to be a little bit more proactive was working on the setup to the canter departure, because that's where she would really get bracy and kind of throw her head up in the air and get really bothered. She's bothered by the legs, and then she tried to get out of the bridle by lifting her head up. I did switch her. You'll see I switched her to a snaffle bit here. The bridle that she had on, I was just a little bit too much information for her, for what she knew and where we were at, so I went ahead and went back to the snaffle bit for this. And she's been getting along with this pretty darn well. And this works well if I got to get a hold of her with one rein, better than a bridle would. And just to clarify, a bridle is anything with leverage, and a snaffle is anything that has 1-to-1 ratio pressure, a non-leverage bit. So there's no leverage, there's no chin pressure. The cradle bridle that she was wearing also had a nose band that added a little bit of pressure, so too much for her. So to be proactive, we would do the the setup for a canter departure that I do, and that she was trained to do at one point, was to put your leg back and step forward like this. And then you would give the horse a cue like a smooch, and you can see her come up just a little bit to that. She was a little bit reactive to that too. So I'd ride her around at a walk and just make a lot of kissing noises and just to get her a little bit desensitized to it, because again, she was too reactive. So when I smooch to a horse, I want them to be thinking about cantering, but I don't want them to take off at a canter. I'm looking for them to just softly lope off for my purposes, okay? So I'll smooch to them, but I don't want them to strike off right there. Then after I smooch, then I kind of put my life into it and I kind of release them into canter. So when I actually want them to canter, there is the least amount of pressure in the whole setup of the departure, not the most amount, okay? Now, if after I do all that, we're not cantering, now I'll bring my leg on and I'll use my inside leg and give her a little oomph off the inside leg, and that just helps them pick up that shoulder and step into that lead. I don't usually have to do it with her because she's pretty much right on it to go. For her, it's more about making sure she doesn't lurch into it. Okay, so now the little setup practice thing that I would do is a little figure 8, okay? So I need to get her comfortable going into this canter setup position without cantering off immediately. So I have a figure 8 that's kind of faced out in front of the video camera here, and right now I'm going to do haunches out. So I got her nose to the left and her hip is going to the left. And I'm going to do a little figure 8 here, and we're never going to canter out of it. We're just going to practice the position, practice the setup. This is also something I'll teach my more advanced horses as I'm getting closer and closer to doing more lead changes. It really helps get control over the shoulders and the hindquarters. So now I have haunches in over on this side of the circle. Again, it's not perfect, but I'm not going for perfection here. I'm just going for her being soft off my cue. So it's not about how many times I do this figure 8 here. It's about when I feel her waiting on me, thinking back to me, not getting bothered, feeling soft. Right there. That feels really soft. We'll just stop her there and go, yeah, that was it. No canter departure. So this kind of mare, if you do too many canter departures without enough cantering around in the middle of them, you're gonna get that spring tightened up. That winds her up, that doesn't wind her down. This winds her down because we're controlling those hindquarters and we're releasing on softness and energy coming down, not up. Okay, so we're still gonna do plenty of canter departures, but we're gonna do some of this stuff ahead of time, and then once we do lope her off, we're gonna stay in that canter for a little while until she really relaxes into it, okay? So that one was to the left, so now we're gonna do one to the right. So I'm gonna do haunches out towards you guys here, going to the left. Now, hopefully you guys, maybe this is something you guys can practice too, but again, the point of me showing you this is not so much for you to understand how to do this technique of figure eighting and haunches in and out. The point of this is to show you guys that if you got a horse anticipating pressure, you have to learn to apply that pressure and set it up and leave it there in some sort of situation to where when the horse winds down from it, they get more comfortable, we take it away. So like here, she's super soft right here. I could quit here, but we're gonna go ahead and go around again, just for a little more practice sake. And you can tell she's really good at this. She's got a ton of control. And so when I think about horse training, I think of mental, emotional, and physical. This horse physically has all the gifts in the world to do all these things. She's a very athletic horse. Mentally, she understands a lot of things, but emotionally, she was getting scared. So that's what we had to focus on with her. So now that we got some of those good setups in, now I'm going to lope her off, and I'm going to do a little exercise that I call riding and guiding. And so to me, the way she felt at a canter is that she didn't have a lot of experience on a loose rein. So I'm going to lope her around on a loose rein, and every time she speeds up, I'm going to turn sharp, and we're just going to lope her around until she feels soft, then we're going to stop, okay? But just because I'm going to do that on a loose rein doesn't mean I have to do my departure, my canter departure on a loose rein, because they're more apt to do a bad departure on a loose rein because their head's going to come up, their back's going to hollow, and they're probably going to trot fast into it. And so it's not going to be the kind of canter I want to practice. So I'm going to set her up and do the canter departure. But then I'm going to give her a loose rein once I get into the gate. And so I'm going to utilize both systems. So now the reason I'm not going to keep her bridled up in the canter is because she doesn't need it. She's got plenty of shaping and control there. What she needs is to canter around on a loose rein to help build her emotional fitness at canter. Okay, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. And I'll just kind of stay down this half of the arena here. I don't run into my cameraman. So I'm going to set her up. Give her a little smooch here. Nice departure. Now I'm going to give her a loose rein. We're riding and guiding. A little fast right there, so we're going to turn. Go straight ahead here. Ooh, that feels nice. So now with my energy, I got to balance. I want her to find that slow, soft lope, which she's being good right now. So I'm just going to leave her out here. Not going to change anything. A little fast there. We'll do a turn, which slows them down. But I got to put enough life into it that she doesn't learn to break gait either. Because I'm trying to teach her how to rate herself back at a lope. Now this feels really nice. A minute ago you just heard her blow right there, right there. Beautiful, beautiful, and ooh. Now that was great. So it's a really nice soft canter, one of her better ones, to be honest. So that was really nice. And also notice I'm not turning around to face you guys. I want to make a couple points here. So one, I could have stopped this horse and she would have put her butt in the ground and did a big old stop. But that's not the point I'm trying to make to this horse. I'm trying to teach her that when she gets soft, I get soft, pressure goes away, everything gets real easy. And so we're just layering that into her more and more, okay? The next part is if I turn around to face you guys and talk to you guys, I'm going to pull her attention off of this sequence, this really nice sequence she just had. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sit here and let her get relief. Now, it also wasn't a total coincidence that she got slower going away from my gate. My gate's down there. And so I like to release horses facing this end of the arena versus that end. They all have just naturally a little more draw. So I usually rest them down this end. Just kind of pepper that in. Okay, so now set up my next canter departure. I'm going to back her up. And we're going to lope on the right lead. So I'm going to turn her to the right. But you know what? I don't like that direction. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to back up and do it again. And if she feels a little, at any point when I'm doing this, if she feels a little goey, like she wants to really go into that canter, I'm just going to redo that. We're just going to back up. We're going to turn, I don't like that way either. You know what? I'm just going to back up and do this again. And we'll just do as many of these setups as I want to until she's thinking more about backing than she is about canter departing. Okay? So now that she feels good there, now I'm going to set her up here. Again, shoulders over, nose in. She's moving her hip way too much, more than she needs to. I don't want that, so I'm going to leave my leg in there. That's a little better. I need her to be a little more straight. And very nice. So again, everything feels great, so I'm just going to leave her be. Cruising around here. A little herky-jerky there, so I'm going to turn, pick her up and turn her loose again. Just trying to ride some octagons, some squares. This is a little steering exercise that I learned from Craig Johnson. I'm not sure what he calls it, but just a good exercise. So I used to just ride a lot of circles. Now I ride a lot of octagons. Ooh, that feels good, feels good. And she kind of got a little bit ahead of me there, thought about stopping. But the last thing I would do there when she breaks to a trot before I really asked for slowing down, I was thinking about it, is kick her back into a canter there, because all I'm going to do is teach her that I prioritize going faster over slowing down, and I don't. I prioritize this horse with slowing down over going faster. Always easy for the rider to put a little more life into it and keep her going there. So we're gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna do it all the time. That was kind of my bad for not riding her all the way into that stop, but I'm not gonna make her feel wrong for choosing to slow down versus speed up. That's a good choice for her to have, so we're going to take it. And then I might go ahead and squeeze her here, and now she's thinking about go. So here's a chance to review that little squeeze to a backup. Very good. Because once you've cantered around a little bit, then they start thinking forward. So it's kind of a good time to practice that. Ooh, there we go. So we'll leave that right there. So that's where we're at with her. She needs a little more practice with this to reinforce everything. But I'm really happy with how she's feeling. You can see a lot of that head stuff has gone away, and for as sensitive as she is, she's making some nice changes here, and we'll keep you posted on the next one, see if anything else comes up. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, notifications if you want to know every time I post a video, and if you're enjoying the help here and you're going to use it with your horse, give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying these videos. I want to give a shout out to Horseman's University for sponsoring. It's a learning library that you can go to and watch lots of videos that are a little more professionally made than my YouTube channel here, and really get into it. You can search a lot of topics that are great, and there's one of the best part is there's other people that are like-minded also contributing to those videos, and so you don't have to just hear it from me, you can hear it from the other guys. And make sure you check it out, thehorseman'suniversity.com. Use promo code ROSEHorsemanship to save some money on your first month subscription. So thanks for watching.